Hello, it's Vire here. I'm going to be starting a Final Fantasy XIV Let's Play, or attempting to. As foolhardy as that might be, given how many hours you can pour into an MMO and never even approach the maximum level. The point of the Let's Play is basically going to be to show off the main storyline of the game, as well as side quests up to a certain degree. Mainly to try to catalog the 2.0 story arc before they trim it. They're going to trim it in the summer. They're going to trim out about 14, 15 quests or so. They said tone it down by 13%, whatever that means. If it's literally 13% of the just main story, that's 14 quests. But because there's 108 between the end of 2.55 and 3.0. But anyway, I don't want to bore you with that too much. Maybe you've been thinking about getting into Final Fantasy XIV. Maybe you haven't. I'll show you what it's about. You know, it's 2020, so we've got more race options that we did than 3 more race options than we used to have. Every race has 2 clans that you can choose from. So there's here. The Hure are said to have first traveled to Eorzea from her surrounding continents and islands. 3 great migratory waves later, they are now the most populous of all the civilized races. They exhibit a relatively modest physique, both in height and build, and are known for their peculiar. I can't say it. The short, rounded ears. Heres are well suited for traveling long distances by foot, a trait thought to account for their swift proliferation. Their espousal of an eclectic variety of languages and traditions is a legacy of their diverse heritage, as is the resulting lack of a unified cultural identity. Okay. So this is Joe Blow. But Highlanders are slightly different. You know, they're beefier. The Highlanders were the first of the Hure to reach Eorzea. Their name derives from their long tradition of building strongholds in the mountains. Compared to their Midland brethren, the Highlanders are noticeably larger in build. Of late, Highlanders have become an increasingly rare sight in Eorzea, their numbers represented almost exclusively by those who fled Alamigo after its fall, and now work in the desert city-state of Ul'dah as mercenaries and sellswords. And an interesting lore tidbit about the Highlanders that they don't mention here is they also tried to find work in Gridania, but Gridanias are xenophobes and also had a war with Alamigo, and so they hate them. And they only let the female variety in. Let's see, how do we get the sex here? Oh, yeah. As you can see, female Highlanders are quite busty and very attractive. Midlanders are cute little moblobs, as are most of the ladies. Okay, so let's go to the Elezen. In former times, the Elezen were the sole inhabitants of Eorzea, claiming dominion over her. Traditionally a nomadic people, the tall, slender Elezen believed that the realm to be theirs by divine right. Unfortunately, this belief made the eventual appearance of the Hure and their multitudes akin to an invasion, and a long history of conflict ensued. Ultimately, the Elezen diverged into 2 clans that exist today. The Wildwood Elezen took to the forest to protect their homeland, while the Duskwhite Elezen withdrew to caves and subterrane, opting instead to avoid all contact with any but their own. And a lore tidbit that was in 1.0 is that actually that the Duskwhite Elezen, they fled to the subterrane because the elementals, basically spirits, of the forest, said, "Fuck your shit, if you in my forest, I'm killing you." And so they made an underground society where the elementals wouldn't be provoked to kill them. This is Duskwhite. Duskwhite's usually got like blue to gray. Yeah, like think like a drow, basically, I guess. And then Wildwoods are like sunny and blonde and hot and shit. I mean, Duskwhites are hot too. Of the two, I'd rather fuck a Duskwhite, but anyway. I guess let's look at the clan here. Centuries ago, a number of Ellison sought out a life of peace and seclusion in the depths of Eorzea's caves and caverns. Today they are called the Duskwhite, though their Wildwood cousins, excuse me. Though to their Wildwood cousins they are known simply as the Greys, after their preference for darkness and stone. The cave-dwelling ways of the Duskwhite persist, with some among them turning to robbery and pillaging to survive, earning them the scorn of their woodland relatives. There are few differences between the genders, but Duskwhite females are often regarded as being more passionate and unyielding of the two. And what's a fun fact about Duskwhite, from an elf perspective, is that's actually like, as far as I remember from mythological studies, it's one of the original interpretations and descriptions of elves in general. Gray, cave-dwelling, supernatural humanoids who weren't always, you know, there with the best of intent. See, the Wildwood. For hundreds of years, the Wildwood Ellison have lived in the relative safety of Eorzea's lush forests. With the formation of Eorzea's governments, however, many Wildwood ventured forth from the forest, drawn to the exhilarating cosmopolitan of nearby Gridania. There is minimal dimorphism between the two genders, though males are generally considered to be milder and more chivalrous in demeanor. Among their Duskwhite brethren, Wildwood Ellison are referred to as Greens for the love of the forest. That's cool. That's cool. Cool. I'll look at the guy. Of course, you can change a lot more about them if you want to. It kind of looks like Yuri Ange if he's shaved. But yeah, okay, Lalafell. Not to be racist, but I'm going to skip over that. No, I'm just kidding. I'll read the Lalafell. A wee people sporting short, round, rotund bodies, the Lalafell appeared as no more than children to the eyes of most. Many of these nimble little folk hail from the islands of the South Seas, where they practice a simple agricultural lifestyle. It was not until the opening of maritime trade routes that the gradual migration of Lalafells to Eorzea began. Now one of the most well-established races in the realm, Lalafells can be found in great numbers in nearly every city. Though Lalafellan culture places great emphasis on blood relations, individuals are known for getting along amicably with members of all races. And then you've got the Dunes folk. Perhaps the most unique characteristic of the Dunes folk is their luminous eyes, a result of glossy protective layer which covers the pupil, an evolutionary response to their homeland's glaring sunlight. Many individuals wear a small traditional gemstone on their forehead, a symbol of their zodiacal sign. They are adamant about scholasticism, placing the advancement of knowledge before all else. Other races tend to perceive male Dunesfolk as introverts who care more for books, business, and the prosperity of Ul'dah, a city-state built upon the Dunesfolk's ingenuity, than the goings-ons of the rest of the realm. Then we got the Plainsfolk. From the flat landscapes of the Plainsfolk's home islands are where their Lalafellan clan takes its name. Their distinctive hair coloration, a myriad of earthy and grassy tones, helps them to blend in well with their environment, acting as an effective camouflage against would-be attackers. There's a similarity of La Nocia's grassy fields to those in their homeland, which drew the first settlers to the island of Vilbrand and what is now Limsa Lominsa. They are a clever and opportunistic people, and crafty with their words. The generally accepted view of Plainsfolk is that they are a vibrant lot with a penchant for excessive conversation. And the ladies basically are only distinguishable by their a very, very slight sloping of the shoulders and their hair. And then we got cat girls and cat dudes. I think you've seen enough cat girls, so I'm going to keep it on the cat dude. The ancestors of the Mikote made their way to Eorzea during the Age of Endless Frost, traversing the frozen seas in pursuit of the wildlife upon which they subsisted. Adaptation to a hunting lifestyle has fashioned them with a keen sense of smell, powerful legs, and a tail which provides them with exceptional balance. Mikote are known to be very territorial, and many individuals tend to lead solitary lifestyles, particularly males. And then we've got Keepers of the Moon. The nocturnal among the Makote have dubbed themselves the Keepers of the Moon. Shying away from the garish light of day, Phantom of the Opera, they revel in the shroud of night, with most offering their piety to Menfina, the lover, goddess of the moon. They are distinguishable from their diurnal cousins by their darker fur, larger ears, rounder eyes, more pronounced canines, and longer, skinnier tails. The ritual application of war paint to the face is still regularly practiced, as it is believed the vivid colors grant lunar powers. After a great many summers of conflict with the people of Gridania, the Keepers have finally made amends with the people of the Sylvan city-state, with some even choosing to make their homes there. And then we've got Seekers of the Sun. The self-proclaimed Seekers of the Sun are the diurnal clan of the Makote race. The preference for the warm light of day pervades all aspects of their culture, as is apparent in their devout reverence for Azima, the Warden, Keeper of the Sun and Goddess of Inquiry. They are perhaps known best for their striking eyes, the result of their vertically aligned pupils and faintly colored irises. It is also not uncommon for their eyes to be disparately colored from birth, a trait considered auspicious amongst their kind. Secret tribes can be found throughout Eorzea, with large concentrations appearing near Limsa Lominsa and the Sagoli Desert. Doop-boop-be-doop. And then we got the Rogadin. Known for their brawny builds and piercing eyes, the Rogadin are the largest and most rugged of Eorzea's races. The majority of the realm's Rogadin belong to the Seawolf clan, a maritime people who earn their keep on or by the sea, be it as sailors, fishermen, or pirates. Comparatively few in number are the Hellsguard, who are known for their more earnest demeanors and can be often found working as bodyguards in smithies. Hellsguard. The Hellsguard are a Rogadin clan with body and mind tempered by the unforgiving heart of the volcanic regions they inhabit. Believing these mountains of flame to be gates to the underworld, their line has for centuries stood vigil to prevent the passage of souls back to the realm of the living. As the harsh environs of their homelands produce little sustenance, the second and third born are often sent forth from the mountain villages, with many and more making their way to the great cities. It is there that their sheer girth and steely demeanors place them in high demand as soldiers and sellswords, allowing the young or even the largest families to surpass their elder siblings in prosperity. Sea Wolves. Yeah, that's a submarine class. Long ago, no vessel or coastal village was safe from the fury of the Sea Wolves and their maritime brand of brutality. The mere mention of the clan was enough to strike fear into the hearts of any who drew their livelihood from the sea. The Sea Wolves originally hail from the islands of the far North Seas, where they still subsist as fishermen and women. It was not until the large-scale deployment of Limsa Lominsa's armada that the Sea Wolves' appetite for piracy diminished. Now it is not uncommon to see them employed as sailors or naval mercenaries on all manner of vessels. However, they have never forgotten the ways of their homeland and still use the ancient Rogadin language in their names. Basically, they got some weird-ass names. Ora. The curved horns and beautifully patterned scales that characterize the Ora oft give rise to speculation that members of the Hur-like race native to the far eastern continent of Orthard are, in fact, the progeny of dragons. This, however, has been long been disputed, with scholars citing several distinct differences in the two races as evidence of decidedly dissimilar roots, the first and foremost being the enhanced hearing and spatial recognition granted by the Ora's cranial projections, traits not attributed to draconian horns, and the second being the gross disproportion in body mass between Ori males and females, again, a trait widely unseen in dragons. And then they've got the Zayla. Ori creation myth tells of a Dawn Father and a Dusk Mother from whom all Ora are descended. The Zayla believe their veins to run thick with the blood of the latter, their lustrous black scales and fiery wills serving as proof of their divine lineage. Unlike their sister clan, the Rain, who lead solitary lives hidden beneath the savage peaks of Othar's eastern reaches, the Zayla are free spirits who roam the vast western steppe in close-knit tribes, hunting, gathering, and warring as their ancestors have for countless generations. And they're pretty much just as strong as Highlanders, the only inversion being the intelligence is higher on a Zayla, and the mind is higher on a Highlander. Then we have the Rain. Ori creation myth tells of a Dawnfather and Duskmother from all Aura are descended. The Rain believe their veins run thick with the blood of the former, their brilliant white scales and iron wills serving as proof of their divine lineage. Unlike their sister clan, the Zayla, who bloody the land with endless tribal conflict, the Rain have embraced a life of tranquility and solitude, long abandoning the nomadic lifestyle of their ancestors to settle the deep valleys of Uthard's mountainous eastern reaches. Only on rare occasions will one emerge from the valley mists to seek adventure in realms afar. Fun fact about the Rain, we haven't really gotten to see their true homeland. We've seen a place that they inhabit, but it doesn't match this lore description at all. Alright, and then we got the two new races that were introduced in the most recent expansion. They only have one sex, much to the chagrin of pretty much everybody. We got the Hrothgar. Hailing from the distant shores of Ilsabard, the Hrothgar are a burly people of lion-like appearance, or the males are, at least. Females number staggeringly few among their population, and thus are rarely so much as glimpsed by the other races. The Hrothgar's imposing countenance, mitigated not at all by their sharp claws and still sharper fangs, incited panic amongst the Eorzeans upon their arrival. As they were also unable to communicate, initial interactions with the common folk often escalated into conflict. It was not until the Hrothgar gained mastery of the common tongue that fears were allayed, and in time they would be as neighbors, welcome in all corners of the realm. These guys have some of the most friendly emotes in the game. They have big dad energy. They're adorable. They are truly adorable. And then within them we have the Lost. Unlike their Hellion brethren, the Lost are unbound by the whims of any reigning monarch, having long since found themselves bereft of the warm radiance of their queen. Most find that a nomadic lifestyle best suits their situation and are known to ply a variety of trades that align with their propensity to travel, seasonal laborer, mercenary, and peddler among them. And these guys have, wow, 23 strength, 23 vitality, and 23 mind. They are hella specialized. That's pretty great. They make great healers, great tanks, great melee DPS. And then the Hellions are basically the same, stat-wise. Hellions have traditionally been content to reside in southern Ilsabard with their respective tribes, devout servants to their queens, one and all, and thus have they only but recently begun to make their presence felt throughout the remainder of the three continents. Though these Hrothgar initially had no word to describe themselves, scholars came to call them Hellions, after observing how their lives all but revolved about their queen's needs as planets circle the sun. And then we have the Viera, or the Fran race, with very nice derrieres. Viera, of tall stature and slender frame, the Viera's physical appearance is strikingly similar to that of the Huron Eladin, save for their distinctive long ears and distinctively good butts. Adhering to a strict code known as the Green Word, they are prohibited from contact with the outside world under threat of exile. Their society is purely matriarchal, and males of age are seldom, if ever, found within the bounds of any village. They instead serve as protectors of the wood from the shadows, that no evil may ever encroach on their sacred lands. And then we have the Vina. With skin as fair as the snow-capped mountains towering above, the Vina clan make their homes in the forest lining the southwestern foothills of the Skate Range. Like the members of their sister clan, the Vina live as hunters and gatherers, laboring not only to protect the woods, but to nurture them. As the winds of war swept up a number of those who left their mountain homes, many such hardened hunters chose to set out for the distant shores of Eorzea. It looks like they make really good mages and decent archers. And then we have the Rava. Viera of the Rava clan live primarily in the Golmore jungle, their umber skin allowing them to readily blend in with their surroundings. Though the males stand as wards of the forest, the females are adept hunters in their own right, fiercely guarding their homes and their young. Despite attempts by Dalmaskins to subjugate them, they have ever maintained a self-governing dominion. Though most would adhere to the traditions of the wood, some few have chosen to venture out into the world. And they make really good dexterity classes. For the purposes of this Let's Play, and because I am who I am, I'm going to be playing a Hyr Highlander, male. And we're just going to make him as tall as possible because he'll still be small in the scheme of things. I'm going to move the chiseled meter up to 87 because that's one of my favorite numbers. Skin tone, make him like a little tan, but not like too tan. Let's see. That ought to do it. Hairstyle, and we'll come back to that. Hair color, we'll come back to that. For the face, it's either going to be this one or the fourth one. I'm just not crazy about the more severe looking faces. Let's go with this one. Jaw, we can have a thick jaw, a sloped jaw. I guess we'll go with the thick jaw. As far as eye shapes go, let's see. I think I like type 5 or type 3 the best. Let's go with type 3. I'm gonna make the irises large so that the eye color can be seen. As far as eye color goes, nice little blue-green ought to do it. Eyebrows, they don't really have hair on their eyebrows, if you notice, which is a very odd trait. I'm thinking either, yeah, type 1 will do fine. See, nose, I like his nose the way it is, but let's check him out. Let's see. Type 2 if he wants a longer nose. Type 3 if it's a longer nose that's a little bit down. Looks okay, I guess. Let's see, it's kind of like a square nose. It's a big nose. It's a narrow nose. Yeah, so type 1 it is. Let's see, mouth. You can have standard lips, big lips, pursed or thin lips. I think regular lips look okay, but I also kind of like type 3. You know what? Let's give him sort of a grim countenance. Let's go with type 3. Lip color? You can like add lipstick if you want, but I'm just going to keep it on none. Make him look inhuman. So you could have a beard and a mustache. I'm not too crazy about mustaches, honestly. I'm also not too crazy about scarring, except near the eyes. We could have him be a fresh-faced guy, no scars. I just can't resist that one eye scar, though. It tells a story, you know? You could give him tattoos. I was really crazy about these when the game came out. But I'm not so crazy about them now, so I think a scar is enough. No face paint. Voice, I usually go by the laugh. Yeah, type 5 works. You get some really funny ones in here, like type 12. I actually like type 10 is like type 12 in the Rogadine voices, and I like it on Rogadine, but for Highlander I think type 5 is good enough. Let's go back to the hairstyle. I don't mind this hairstyle, it's okay. Kinda the end of the knot though, it kinda, I guess not the end of the knot, but the main part, you see it clips into the clothing. I can't stand the longer hairstyles because they clip into the clothing so often. Let's see. I'm gonna have him be all nice and combed. I don't think that really fits an adventurer though. Maybe if he was gonna be scholarly, but I don't really intend for him to be scholarly. This hairstyle would be okay. I can see it going. I'm a real big fan of this hairstyle because it's just simple and short. You know, I don't want people grabbing your hair in combat. This hairstyle's okay. And this one's also okay. Well, if only I could get your voices from the future to tell me about his hair. All in all, we can change the hair later if we need to. So I'll probably just go with this one. As for its color, let's see. Why so strawberry? Kind of like where it's at. I kind of like gray. Can make him an old man, sort of. Could make it blonde. Blonde would be okay, I guess. Could make it dirty blonde. That would also be okay, I suppose. We make it really red. We could make it purple, blue, green. When I first started, I chose a different hairstyle because this hairstyle wasn't available, and I made it dark green with orange highlights. And I thought it looked cool, and my friend was like, "Your hair color is dangerous." So, how about we go with this nice sort of crisp, dark, like red or auburn? You think he looks okay? I think he looks good. No need to save it. Let's see. For when he was born, I don't know, 4th umbral moon, 16th day, August 16th. Cool, cool. His god will be Ralgard the Destroyer because he's Alamegan, since he's a Highlander, obviously. We could go and put him in Ul'dah, but that's not the way I roll. I'm going to have him be one of the only males that ever got into Gridania. Just because give him a little bit of a special Twinkie edge, you know? Plus, I want him to be a Lancer. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 starting classes. And they branch off into actually 9 jobs because the Arcanist branches off into a healing class and a DPS class, caster class. These are caster DPSs, and then healer. And these are all physical, with archer being the ranged. Your class will determine where you start. I'd read the descriptions for the classes, but I think for now I'm getting kind of low on time. I'm just going to read the Lancer description and then jump in. Lancer. The strategy of the Lancers is to outrange and fluster opponents with their long two-handed polearms, peppering them with a barrage of thrusting attacks. They are trained with a number of weapons, giving a diversity to their attacks that makes them extremely versatile combatants. In former times, the long spear saw the most widespread use, due in great part to the influence of proud Lancer legions of Alamigo. Since then, the guild has greatly expanded its armories to include a variety of weaponry, such as a halberd and the trident. I like this because it has an Alamegan background. If you notice what I'm going for, it's Alamegan. I like Alamegans. Alamigo is a big deal to me, lore-wise. What? No, I don't want to star on Balmung. Oh man, I can't get in on Zalera? Why is Balmung open? This is like... What? Okay. Gee. I guess I'll go with Brunhilde. Okay, as far as a name, I thought of a name before I started doing all this. Here, naming convention is often, did I spell wyvern right? Let's see. Y-V-E-R-N hide. There we go. Clyde Wyvern hide. It kind of rhymes. It's got some nice syllable flouncing with it. And it fits here naming convention, so that's kind of cool. Alright, we can begin a new game with this character. For the purposes of the Let's Play, I'm going to try to never skip cutscenes. And it's going to be very hard for me to do, as in the past, I've taken 5 characters through the main storyline without jump potions. So, I guess that's something to keep in mind as well. This Let's Play will not be for anyone who's using a jump potion. This is not... I guess technically it could be for you if you didn't experience the story at all and you wanted to experience it. Feel free to watch it, but it's not gonna be tailored to your experience at all. I don't believe in jump potions. I think they, well, they're not like, not to like invalid or attack anyone that used them, but the point of the game is the story, and just skip everything is kind of, you're not getting your full money's worth. I mean, this is a subscription style game. You're supposed to play it daily for a long time and get the most out of it. But anyway, here we go. We're in space, fully clothed. It's like blue space. Like glitter instead of stars.
Here. Here. Feel.
Man, is my guy dying? He's in a dark place, walking towards a light, hearing a voice. Oh. Yeah, seems about right. I didn't figure I was slated for heaven.
Here. Feel. Think.
Oh, bitching. I make this look good. No, this just makes me look good, actually. Got a lance of light. He's got a laser face. Man, he's attacking me unarmed. What a Chad. I feel the odds are stacked against the bad guy. Oi! You all right, lad? You were moaning in your sleep and sweating buckets besides. Grizzled passenger. That'll be the ether, I reckon. Some are more prone to sickness than others. No need to fret, though. You'll soon get used to it. Aw, man after me own heart. Straight from the bottle. In broad daylight. In front of strangers. He gives 0 fucks. Hey, who's that little... Is it a little girl? I don't know. You got Moogles. There's a Final Fantasy staple. Feeling better? Kupo? Furry creature. Come on, they're just Moogles. Just call them Moogles. Aha! You can see us. I had a feeling you could. Kupo. We're Moogles, and we live in this wood. Now there are 2 of them. Moogles and... What's that? Ellison children? Teenagers? Normal folks can't see or hear us, which makes you special. Kupo. Now, are they actually asleep, or are they feigning sleep? And seeing as how you're special, maybe you can tell us something. The wood's been restless of late, lots of strange things happening. Have you chanced to witness anything suspicious, Kupo? Nah, I just got here in this wagon, man. Dude, they jacked his booze! But of course you haven't. You've only just arrived. Well, there's nothing for it, then. We'll just have to keep looking. Nice to meet you. Kupo! The rules of Kupo is it has to be cute. And high-pitched. We used to say, Kupu! in my house. He didn't see them. He didn't see the moguls, but did he not see his bottle levitate? Like, and then just... I guess he is drunk. Gridania's still a fair way off, in case you were wondering. Seeing as you're awake, how's about you keep me company till we get there? Them youngins don't care much care for conversation, see? Well, her eye is open. Bremont's the name, and Pedlin's me trade. As for your good self, judging by your unusual garments, I'd say you were one of them new adventurers, am I warm? Yep, that's me. I knew it. Going wherever the wind blows, seeking fortune and glory. Now that's what I call living. So long as you avoid dying, I mean. Ain't no secret that adventuring's a risky business. These days especially. What was it that first attracted you to it? To gain power is the default option. To win glory. To amass a fortune. Or you can stay silent. I'm gonna stay silent. I'm a taciturn bitch. Well, if you ain't inclined to tell, I ain't about to pry. Might be as old Bremont's a chatterbox, but he sure as hells ain't no busybody. We all have a secret or three, don't we? Me? Dozens. And I'd rather they stayed secret too, which is why I don't go sticking my nose where it ain't welcome. Just remember though, there's more important things than fortune and glory, such as breathing. Ain't no profit in being dead, and that's a fact. Halt! Go no further. What's this then? Ooh-ah! Oh man, I knew that arrow was coming. Either I got some really sharp hearing, or maybe I saw it? I don't know. Well, what's going on? A skirmish has broken out up ahead with the Ixal. For your own safety, you must remain here until... Bloody hells, we shall hold them here! Try to break clear! They're all wearing masks. Yeah, it seems like they got stuff under control. That was too bleeding close. Nice of the Ixal to send us a welcoming party, though, eh? Joking aside, this won't be the last time you meet those feathered fiends, so just you take care, alright? By the by, is this your first trip to Gridania? Well, if I want to be dishonest, I could say yes. So I'm gonna say no. Nah, man, I came here once, and they rejected me the first time. Thought not, but I'll wager there've been some changes since your last visit. Allow a journeyed itinerant to teach you a few new things about your destination. The city of Gridania lies slap bang in the middle of the Black Shroud, the biggest, luscious forest in all Eorzea. Though it ain't near as lush as it used to be, saying that. Not since the calamity laid half of it to waste. The destruction prompted a herd of new nasties to move in, and gave the Ixal unneeded encouragement. Birdman raids have become a daily occurrence. Ah, at long last. Behold, Gridania, the forest nation blessed by the elementals. I don't get why the elementals isn't a proper noun. Like they're like a spirit. They're like a god almost. Like why not?
The Black Shroud, the ancient forest, close to the heart of Eorzea. Beneath the boughs of its towering trees lies the woodland city-state of Gridania.
Doesn't look like much. Got some water wheels.
Once a sanctuary from the world beyond the hedge, even the mighty elementals, eternal guardians of the forest, could not forestall the coming of the seventh umbral era. However, the goddess Nofika was never one to forsake her children, and today she welcomes another brave soul.
But I worship
One who
Ralger.
may yet play a telling role in the tale of this great realm.
Man, what a dusky, manly voice. I wish I had a voice like that. Not even my singing voice can get that deep. And here's where we part ways, son. I'm off to the markets to deliver me wares, then it's back to the high road for me. Here, I want you to have this, by way of thanks for keeping me company. Hey, you never did tell me your name, did you? Well, here's an idea. Become the sort of storied personage I can brag about having met, and I'll consider us square.
May the matron take him to her bosom, that he may never want.
Her bosom, you say?
And in his heart, sow serenity, purity, and sanctity.
You're gonna have to really work on that purity one. The other two, maybe. I can get there, maybe. Without help. But the purity one, oh man, you got your work cut out for you. Final Fantasy XIV. It's a pretty nice spear, actually. Got a cat girl and a... Yeah, that was 2 cat girls, maybe? Some watchtowers. Cat girl and an elf. Or maybe it's a Hyur, I don't know. There's another Hyur running in. Little play-by-play, little commentating. You there! Yes, you! Your face is not known to me. Newly come to the city, no doubt. I am... Bertinat, a wood dweller of Gridania. It is my duty to protect our nation from her enemies while welcoming those who may yet prove her friends. Let us see what you are. Well, I've got a weapon on my back. I guess that's... Welcome to Gridania, a vibrant forest nation cradled in the bosom of nature. Please select the control screen you wish to use. Controller, duh. Okay, so if you're new, I suggest not turning these help windows off because they will teach you buttons that you don't know yet, and they will tell you useful information every time they pop up. But if you'd rather just learn by doing, just check this little box. You can turn it back on in character configuration, and then close it, and they'll never pop up again. Follow the instructions to move your character and adjust the position of the camera. When you are ready to proceed, speak to Bertinat. Okay. So I guess I could go over the HUD. We've got our crossbars here. If you're on PC or if you're using keyboard, it'll look like a rectangle for the number buttons and stuff. You can switch through them with the triggers, or well, I guess the bumpers. R1, L1. We've got one weapon skill. You hold the triggers to be able to use them. We've got our EXP bar, our health bar, our MP bar at the bottom there. In the right-hand corner, we got our gil and an inventory grid, so you can quickly see how much inventory you've got left. Top right corner is your time, different depending on your time zone. You got how much mail you've got in your Moogle box, you got your server name, you've got your mini-map, and your map coordinates. You got a little sun icon rotating around the compass there, or the map, to denote the time of day. You can come over here, and you can see the type of weather. To activate the virtual mouse, you hold L1 and press R3, and then you can move it around with the right joystick. Camera control is right joystick, movement control is left joystick. Triangle to jump, left and right on the D-pad to tab through targets. And you can go into first person by pressing R3. You can pull your weapon out with L3. It's all pretty basic. You'll figure it out as you go. You can widen the text box here if you want to by coming over here and you can use L2 counts as left click basically, so do that. Menu is the, what's it called, options button. You've got several menus you can go through. It's all pretty self-explanatory. One major change I would like to make is to keybinds, in chat mainly. The reply temporarily forward, by default it's Alt-R, but I like for it to be Control-R because I came from Final Fantasy XI, and that's what it was in Final Fantasy XI. Anywho, let's get a move on, shall we? Coming to Gridania. Reward 50 of a weird, crazy symbol that's for XP, and then 103 coins, which is Gil. To be recognized as an adventurer in the city-state of Gridania, you must first register yourself within the Adventurers Guild. Another green adventurer, I presume. I thought as much. We cannot allow strangers to wander Gridania unchecked and untested. Before you rush off and begin pestering every second citizen for work, I suggest you make yourself known at the Carlin Canopy. That's the headquarters of the local Adventurers Guild, in case you were wondering. The Carlin Canopy is the building you see behind me. Speak to Mother Mion within, and she will take you in hand. She'll take me in hand, you say? Maybe I'm gonna get led to a bosom quicker than I thought. Honorate, huh? Looks kind of prissy. Give a man a bloody fright sneaking up on me like that. Dude, I walk straight up to you. Newly come to Gridania, are ya? Then I suggest you continue on your merry way to the Carlin Canopy just behind me. Mother Mion will want a word with you. Okay then. I can't sprint yet. Oh, this is some bull. There she is, there she is. Hot elf chick. Mother Mion alone is enough reason to start in Gridania. Well, well, what have we here? A wide-eyed, wandering young adventurer. Come to put your name down at the guild, I presume. Welcome. Mion's my name, or Mother Mion, as most call me, and the Carlin Canopy is my place. As the head of the Adventurers Guild in Gridania, I have the honor of providing guidance to the fledgling heroes who pass through our gates. No matter your ambitions, the guild is here to help you attain them. In return, we expect you to fulfill your duties as an adventurer by assisting the people of Gridania. A fine deal, wouldn't you agree? To an outsider's eye, all might seem well within our nation, but naught could be further from the truth. The people live in a state of constant apprehension. The Ixal and various gangs of common bandits provide an unending supply of trouble, trouble compounded by the ever-present threat of the Garlean Empire to the north, and that is to say nothing of the calamity. Even now, the wounds have barely begun to heal. Ah, but I speak of it as if you were there. Forgive me. 5 years passed. The Eorzea was nigh laid to waste when a dread worm emerged from within the lesser moon, Dalamud, and rained fire upon the realm. It is this which people call the calamity. Scarcely a square mile of the 12th wood was spared of the devastation. Yet, despite the forest's extensive wounds, not a soul among us can recall precisely how it all happened. I am well aware of how improbable that must sound to an outsider. It is improbable, but it's also true. For reasons we can ill explain, the facts surrounding the calamity are shrouded in mystery. There are as many versions of events as there are people willing to recount them. Yet, amidst the hazy recollections and conflicting accounts, all agree on one thing, that Eorzea was saved from certain doom by a band of valiant adventurers. Whatever else we've misremembered, none of us have forgotten the heroes who risked life and limb for the sake of the realm, and yet, whenever we try to say their names, the words die upon our lips. And whenever we try to call their faces to mind, we see naught but silhouettes amidst a blinding glare. Thus have these adventurers come to be known as the Warriors of Light. Ahem. Pray do not feel daunted by the deeds of legends. We do not ask that you become another Warrior of Light, only that you do what you can to assist the people of Gridania. Great or small, every contribution counts. I trust you will play your part. I'll play your part if you know what I'm saying. All that's left then is to conclude the business of registration. Here's a quill. Scrawl your name right here. Oh, and I would appreciate it if you used your real name. There is a special place in the 7th Hell for those who use amusing aliases. Clyde Wervenhyde. And you're quite sure that isn't an amusing alias? Man, she just called out everyone who does a fucking joke name like Tater Tot. Very well. From this moment forward, you are a registered adventurer of Gridania, nation blessed of the elementals and the bounty of the Twelveswood. The guild expects great things from you. Look at what just arrived, another God's damned adventurer. Don't you start with that. Adventurers are the very salve that Gridania needs. The Elder Seedseer herself bade us welcome them with open arms. Do you mean to disregard her will? Of course not. Lest you forget, it is my sworn duty to uphold the peace. Am I to blame if outsiders bring mistrust upon themselves? Yo, adventurer, mind that you do not cause any trouble here, or I shall personally cast you out of the realm and into the 7th Hell. Dude, this guy just said that he'd kill my ass. Ahem, pay that outburst no mind. He meant only to counsel you. Suspicious characters have been prowling to the Twelveswood of late, you see, and the Wood Whalers feel they cannot afford to take any chances. As is often the way with folk who live in isolation, Gridanians are wont to mistrust things they do not well know. Your good self included. Fear not, however. Given a catalogue of exemplary deeds, and no more than a handful of years, the locals will surely warm to you. On behalf of my fellow citizens, I welcome you to Gridania. May you come to consider our nation as your own in time. Now then, you may depend on old Mother Mion to teach you a few things that every adventurer should know. Unfortunately, though, I'm pretty much out of time here. So, I think that'll do for now, for the first episode of my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV. If you're watching, then, thank you. And next time, we'll get some quests going, and we'll try to get up a few levels. It won't all be exposition-heavy, lore-heavy, reading-heavy stuff. In the future, I might not read so much, because my throat is starting to hurt just from reading as much as I have. So, until next time, let's see, where's farewell? I'll just type it. It doesn't? Maybe it was goodbye. Until next time, I bid you farewell. And if you're interested in Final Fantasy XIV, I totally recommend getting it. I'll see you again. I'm Fire, and if you like this, subscribe.